a term that we in the wedding industry love to use liberally, and that's wedding trends. About once a year, I release a video talking about trends for the upcoming wedding season because honestly, this is my job, and I love different wedding trends and different wedding ideas. But at a certain point, we have to admit that things might have gotten a little out of hand. Now it's become trendy to talk about what trends aren't trendy anymore. And I'm not immune to it. In my never-ending quest to find the perfect clickbaity title, I thought, let's bring it up today. What are some trends that the people of the internet think need to go bye-bye? All done. See you later. Woohoo! Okay. So without further ado, let's just jump right on into it. Found a thread under the wedding planning subreddit that we should probably go over. Wedding trends that you think will change or be gone in the next 5 to 10 years. Just for fun, what are some current wedding trends that you think will either change or disappear in the near future? My prediction is that bridal parties will change. This year in particular, I've heard of more brides either not having a bridal party or having a smaller bridal party that sits during the ceremony and is more of an honorary role than an involved portion of the wedding. And unlike the formatting that I do for most of these videos, I'm actually just going to reply after each and every single one because I don't have patience or the memory to wait for all of these ideas. I don't think wedding parties are going anywhere. I think we are seeing a trend where couples are like, oh, I can allow them to sit. I'm going to go ahead and do that. But that's not anything new. In fact, we've had quite a few Catholic ceremonies in the past. I think even a Greek Orthodox ceremony where the wedding party was actually requested to sit. So this isn't necessarily a new thing. This is going to be one of those things that's a little bit more cyclical where we'll have really small wedding parties and then wedding parties will go really big again. So the whole sitting aspect of things, that might stick around for a little bit, but most people are still going to have their wedding parties standing. Another trend that was really, really popular for quite a few years is to have wedding parties swap sides. And so people still do this to this day, where if you got your bride and your groom, if you got your bridesmaids and your groomsmen, they would actually swap where the wedding party was standing so they could watch their friends' faces as they're getting married. We'll also see couples do this with their family members so they don't have like their mom standing behind them during the super, super emotional times. That is not done with great frequency, but it's not uncommon. It's neither trendy nor not trendy. It's just a matter of preference, which as you'll find is a statement that could be made for almost everything we'll talk about in this video. But also we still see tons of weddings with giant wedding parties and tons of weddings with no wedding parties at all whatsoever. It's just a matter of preference. I think garter toss will disappear entirely in the near future. Please, please let the garter toss die. It's so awkward as a guest. I'm a guy and I've gotten lined up, made no effort to catch the dang thing, and still subsequently hit in the face with a tiny piece of outdated lingerie several times. How tall are you? That's nonsensical that you've been hit in the face several times. This is honestly one of the number one things mentioned when I do unpopular wedding opinions over on Instagram, occasionally on Thursdays. People will be like, garter toss is gross. We don't like it. You don't have to do it. It's not a requirement. You're not legally obligated to include this in your event. And I do love that we are seeing a trend of people not doing it. Because think of your poor, tall friends' faces, okay? Think of them. If you have anyone over 6'2", they're doomed. Okay, just leave them out of this. The poor guy's been hit in the face way too many times in these circumstances. Now, all jokes aside, there is still a high frequency of weddings that are still doing these. Please take this as your permission, though, to say I'm not doing it. I am ditching that. It is technically, I would say this is more of a tradition than it is a trend because it's been around for so long. But this is why I love modern day weddings so very much, is you get to pick and choose how you want your wedding day to look and feel and how you want your guests to feel on your wedding day. I can see favors for guests at weddings going away. Most people are skipping them. This is cultural, okay? Because I talk about this. This was like one of like the biggest eye-opening experiences for me on the internet, where I would talk about favors and be like, hey, ditch them. I see a ton of them get left behind. And then I had slews of couples from different cultures being like, if I did that, my tia would disown me. Like, you don't understand. We have to give favors. They will leave with the centerpieces. They will leave with the tablecloths if they can. That's just how we roll here. So I think this one's cultural. And again, this is a tradition that people are choosing to opt out of. I opted out of it at my wedding. Anytime a couple opts out of it at theirs, I think it's great. I do think favors are left behind. I wouldn't be mad if it disappeared entirely in the cultures that it does not affect. But we can't have Tias stealing your rented centerpiece vase or tablecloth. So if we need some Jordan Albans to appease them, we're going to keep those in the rotation. Color schemes and decor always change over time. There's nothing inherently wrong with sage green dresses, eucalyptus leaves, or disco balls, but there will be a new trendy aesthetic soon enough. Signage on every surface may disappear. Anything that's expensive but adds little to the guest experience tends to die out. Ooh, good take. I bet the choose your own bridesmaid dress trend will stay. Maybe not multiple colors, but I don't think bridesmaids will be okay wearing a uniform, unflattering style now that a better option is widely accepted. Yes, I agree that the identical bridesmaid dresses are going out. Not necessarily. We've got some couples hanging on to that tradition for dear life. Conversely, what I do see as a trend that probably will fade out a little bit over the next subset of years and then return in another 10 or so is the really, really printed dresses. Those with aggressive floral prints, etc. that make a very bold statement visually. Instead, we'll probably stick to the more neutral tones or subtle patterns. Those tend to be around and stick around with a lot more frequency than the really, really patterned styles do. As to the bridal party, I've seen people online on Reddit or Facebook groups talking about foregoing bridal parties, but in the 20 plus weddings I've been to in the last couple of years, I've not seen a single one do it. Yeah, put your money where your mouth is, folks. Keep talking about doing... No, just kidding. Bouquet toss. I think it'll disappear in the future. I think these women would beg to disagree with you.
And his name is John C. Your time is up, my time is...
And maybe I just showed you the perfect reason for why they should go away. I don't know. Does make for entertaining content, though. I'm really sorry, but those detachable bishop and puff sleeves are going to look super dated in a few years. Yeah, well, I mean, you're not wrong, okay? You're not wrong. But everything has a season. Hate to break to you, but a lot of things that you think are timeless are, in fact, just trends in a longer time setting. I'm kind of hoping the personalized circuit, I'm assuming you mean cricket, style gifts and proposal for bridesmaid and groomsmen. But I'm a bit biased as I dislike most cricket / poorly personalized things. I can understand this one. This one makes sense. I would prefer it being done with a cricket because I've done some cricket DIYs here on this channel. I would prefer that over buying something that says bridesmaid. Can't. It's not for me. It's not for me. I'm so sorry if you are like, I just put together my bridesmaid gift boxes and everything says the word bridesmaid on it. I'm not a huge fan. That's why I came up with an entire range of married merch that doesn't say the word bride on it. And it says stuff like married till you're buried or Mrs. or Mr. And it's super cute and it's always linked down below these videos. You should go check them out. Honestly, I wear this stuff all the time. And I've been married for a lot longer. I just think that if we are going to be gifting things, let's make sure that it has a little bit more of a timeless element to it. Because I agree with the person who replied to that comment saying, same, I hate any one-time wear or use thing. It's essentially creating a piece of trash. It's so wasteful. No one actually wants to wear a shirt that says Sarah's Bride Tribe after the fact. Even if you're my best friend and I'm super happy for you, a picture is a perfectly fine memento. I don't need crap cluttering my house to remember your wedding. I completely forgot to throw myself a bridal shower. So did everyone else. Oh, my only regret on this is that I missed out on some free cookware or something. I don't like that spirit at all. Also, I think that the crazy, everyone must wear pink and black. What sort of wedding are you referring to? One from 2002? Bachelorette party. Oh, bachelorette party. I should have kept reading before reacting. Is going by the wayside. I just rented a cabin for the boys and a bungalow at the beach for the gals and ordered in Italian. I have no idea what the boys did. It sounded like they just had beers around the campfire and hung out. Then again, we were in our mid-30s by the time we got around to getting married, so we kind of were out of our let's go crazy phase. Bud vases. What? Telephone guest books. Matchbook favors. Nope. Neon signs. Yeah. Disco balls. They could go. Wildflower florals. Those are staying. Drop waist dresses. We'll see them again in like another 20, 30 years. Off the shoulder sleeves. Timeless. Not going anywhere. Gold mirrors and frames. For example, seating chart. Nope. That one's here to stay. Sorry. Cheesecloths / chiffon table runners. I think those have also earned a permanent spot in wedding planning in general. It's a great way to add like ground the center of your table, as well as add a pop of color and a little bit of texture to something without spending a lot of money. Pearls and bows on everything. Pearls, timeless. I will die on that hill. Okay? I will die on that hill. Bows, only if you're 4 or below. Heart-shaped sunglasses. Bye-bye. Glow sticks on the dance floor. Timeless. You can't get rid of them. Sorry. Squiggly line borders on signage. Yeah, why did that start? Fruit and vegetables as decor. I mean, like, I'm always going to be a fan of a still life painting. And I always think that's going to be like a timeless, like, look. But I don't think we're going to be seeing like tons of lettuce clad tabletops forever and ever, amen. Checkerboard dance floors, timeless. Sorry, wax seals over my dead body. Are those leaving? Those are staying forever. Thank you. Disposable / Polaroid cameras. Nah, those will come around again. Pets on koozies, cups, and cocktail napkins. Someone actually got really mad at me for bringing these up in a video, saying, how dare you? How dare you? I'm doing those. And I was like, you do you, Boo Bear. We can't make the pet parents angry. Eucalyptus and pampas grass already on their way out. Nah, eucalyptus is here to stay. No matter how much florists would prefer for it to be gone. Pampas grass might be gone. It might be going. I don't know. Battery powered / rechargeable table lamps. Ooh, I don't think those are going anywhere for a long time though. Black and white color scheme with greenery / baby's breath / white flowers. That's kind of timeless. I don't think that's going. Oh, that's not going anywhere. Mismatched bridesmaid dresses. This one will be around for a while, but I could totally see it going away in 10 to 15 years. Yeah, okay, but that is the entire nature of the industry, okay? But you know what? I'm doing most of these things at my own wedding. Plot twist. And I simply do not care if any of these things are outdated in a decade's time. All weddings look outdated as time goes on. As long as you're doing the things that make you happy, then when you look back on your wedding photos in the future, of course you might cringe at a few things, but for the most part, you'll just remember how happy and in love you were. That's all that matters. This is the take that I can get on board with, okay? Like, listen, if you like it, do it. If you don't, it's totally fine. But then you get on TikTok and this sort of situation happens.
Wedding trends, I think, are going to be overdone in 2025 and 2026. I know this is going to be kind of controversial, and I don't mean like if you're doing this for your wedding, like it's going to be overdone and like it's not cute. At the end of the day, you're getting married, and if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do.
Not the controversial take on wedding trends. Sorry, she's adorable. She's got great cheekbones.
These are just the things that I have seen so many celebrities and so many influencers do over and over and over again. They might not be coming off as like unique and cool anymore, and they might just come off trendy.
Okay, if all you're doing is getting your wedding inspiration from celebrities and influencers, then you're probably pushing yourself out of a lot of budget categories. What I want you to be doing in situations like this, when you're planning your wedding and you see these gorgeous influencers with their gorgeous weddings, or these celebrities with their incredibly lavish events, is to pull inspiration from, not copy. Because we're getting really nuanced with the terminology that she's using here, where we say it's cool and unique and then becomes trendy and then becomes dated. It's all the same thing. It just matters what day you look at it.
Let's just get into it. This next year is going to be the death of the arch. I have seen less and less people use an arch at the altar and honestly use nothing. And I think it's so beautiful and it has more focus on the couple. So no more arches.
Well then their marriage is not going to be valid. If you know, you know. But also it's a superbly fantastic way to save money because that's a lot of florals. So like, don't feel like you have to do it. I love how it frames the couple in the right circumstance, but it is totally overkill. You don't need to have it. And I don't think that we're going to see them go anywhere though.
This one physically pains me to say this because I love these flowers. But as a 2026 bride, I have to also ask myself this question. Are these flowers just really trendy right now? Or do I actually like them for my wedding?
Do you have to ask yourself this question? You have to? I'm sorry. She's so sweet.
Is anthuriums and calla lilies. I have seen so many calla lily bouquets and just people holding one calla lily.
You know what's trendy? Her ring. Like, you want to talk about wedding trends, you can, with a pretty decent accuracy, track when someone was engaged based on what their engagement ring looks like. And this whole 2-stone, 2 different shape thing, it's giving like kind of like Jackie Kennedy vibes. She technically had 2 different types of stones, but it gave the feeling of that mismatched effect, right? But that wasn't a trend that stuck around for a long time. This is hyper specific, and this is going to be one of those things in 10 years that we're like, oh, you got engaged in like 2024, 2025, didn't you? It's okay.
So many people with anthurium flower arrangements and everything. It's all so beautiful, but is that just highly trendy right now? I think it might be, and I think by the time 2026 rolls around for me, like, it will have been done so much that it's just not going to feel cool and unique.
Anthuriums and calla lilies are definitely a throwback. This is why when we talk about trends, we see that it is cyclical over the decades. So these are very much a nod to the 90s and the early aughts, where we see those as very, very prominent in floral displays, very prominent in wedding bouquets, etc. So this is just something that's coming back around. And usually when a trend like this comes around, it's here to stay for at least a couple of seasons. So I don't think that this is going anywhere for 2026, but I also don't think it'll be here in 5 to 10 years.
Parasols. I have seen so many cool parasol photos, people with parasols at their weddings, and I think it's beautiful. However, every wedding I have seen for inspiration this year had parasols, so now it leads me to ask the same question. Is it highly trendy right now, and will it be overdone by my wedding? And the answer is coming out yes. So I think if you guys have 2025 and 2026 weddings, it may just be completely overdone by then.
Which honestly I wouldn't be terribly mad about because they are super expensive. But we've been doing parasols for a long time, sister friend. They have been around. I remember my second or third styled shoot I ever did, I used parasols as a part of the styled shoot. It's not a trend. It's something that if you have extra money to throw at something like this, like we will absolutely do. We've had parasols at wedding, gosh, what was it, 2016? This isn't going anywhere. It's bougie, it's extra, it's expensive, it's really cute and makes for fantastic photos. Just think we might be seeing some photographers highlighting them if they're present, and that might just be your specific algorithm. But no, parasols are not a trend, and no, they're not going anywhere.
Chandeliers outside. This I think is just so overdone, and people are just trying to copy one wedding in particular and like emulate someone else's wedding.
Okay, chandeliers have been outside for a really long time. Like chandeliers outside in weddings, long time. Usually just one, right? So copious amounts of them like arched over and lit up. Like that feels next level. That's like real expensive, real bougie. But I don't think they're going anywhere. I do think that they're a really expensive accessory. And I think it'll be one of those things that like kind of comes in and out a little bit more, like dips in a little bit more frequency and then it's kind of gone. So maybe a trend, maybe not, but they've been around since like 2002, 2005. And I don't think they're going anywhere.
Heavy drapery and bows everywhere and like heavy fabrics everywhere. It's so beautiful. The bow trend came and went. We're gonna all be so over bows and like heavy drapery.
Okay, I am also a fan of not going heavy on the drapery simply because the installation and the cost of the installation, just not a huge fan, never really been a huge fan of heavy drapery. This will be something that is trendy. This will be something that will go away. We'll still see it for a few more seasons. It's just not going to stay very heavy and very prominent. And like we talked about bows earlier, yeah, that's going to go too.
This one may be controversial, but I don't know how I feel about a champagne tower. I feel like it is so extremely overdone, but it's honestly been overdone for years. Maybe it's kind of classic. So many opinions on weddings and wedding aesthetic in general. Please don't take offense to this, because at the end of the day, it's your day and you do whatever the fuck you want.
You know, she kind of hit the nail on the head there with the champagne tower specifically. Like, is it trendy or is it timeless? Is it here to stay? Honestly, who cares? Like, she rounded it out really beautifully at the end of it. Like, it's your wedding day. It's totally fine. But what I got a lot of humor from is watching that specifically, all the controversial takes, including if this is controversial, I might not have an opinion on the champagne tower, to then be followed up by this post, trends I'm loving as a 2025 bride, including, but not limited to, draped calla lilies, drapery, ceremony, ceremony site that looks like an art installment. That's a choice. See? The arch is gone though, so like maybe her trend prediction was correct, because this just looks like an art piece. It looks like something. It looks like something. I just feel like that would look really weird in photos unless you're really far back. Linen fabric signage, that's not a trend. That's here. That's not going anywhere. Oh, look, more calla lilies. Basque or corset wedding dresses that drop waist. It'll definitely be cycled through for a minimum of 3 wedding seasons for sure. Oh, look, more calla lilies. This is given 90s for sure. Got some unique flowers. Oh, why are we doing that with tulips? Why are we doing that? Do you know how impractical that is? That is made for this one photo and one photo only. Hey, I actually don't mind a really pretty cascading bouquet. This flower accessory. No, I don't like it. Wait, what? All I see is a drunk groomsman at 10 p.m. swinging that around his head. It doesn't look well built enough to sustain that kind of energy. And then I see pearls just flying all across the room. All right. And then the flower bag. It's not my personal cup of tea. Fruit all over the table. Covered this earlier. I'm not mad. Let's still life. Okay. Not mad. Unique table designs. I don't like them. Okay. Anything like this where your back could be to somebody else, you have to turn to be able to have a conversation with your literal seat next door neighbor. I'm not a huge fan. I think it photographs beautifully. I think it's highly impractical from a guest experience. This aisle arrangement. This is, I don't like it. Imagine being the person at the very end, just being stuck back there being like, I can't see anything, guys. Can you lean back? Thanks. Fruitcakes / dessert. I'm on board with this. I'm a fan. This is fine. I'm fine with all of this. I just love that we went from one post being like, they've gone from being cool and unique to now trendy. And that's a 4-letter word in some languages. To another post being like, I love these trends. They're so incredible. And then here's me being like, I like some and hate some of everything that you guys just mentioned. It's totally fine. And I promise this isn't just a video where I'm hyper specifically bashing things on the internet. There's a point. There is definitely a seasonality to wedding planning and wedding design. And things that we are absolutely obsessed with today, we will not be obsessed with 5 to 10 years from now. Things that were considered stylistically on the cutting edge were probably done 20 to 30 years ago, which is basically a recycled version of what happened 20 to 30 years before that. And I think the best way of rounding this out is by bringing my gal Meredith up, because she is just a breath of fresh air. If you're on any sort of social media platform, you should be following her. I just absolutely love this wedding planner. Like, I want to meet her in real life.
Everything that once was cringe will eventually become cool again. Everything that is cool right now was not so long ago called cringe too. While they're coordinating the bridesmaid's bouquet to their dress, I guess we're not calling it cringy this year. Sun hats? Cool again. Drop waist with a bubble hem with a puff sleeve. Drop waist with a bubble hem. Drop waist with a bubble sleeve. Bridesmaid parasols? Uh-oh, they're cool again. Bridesmaid flower baskets? Just got a rebrand, we're calling it the flower purse. Big ass veils? But we still got big ass veils. Little hair gem pearl doodads, we got those too. Everything is cyclical. Things fall out of trend, then with enough time they eventually come back around. Not for long. Soon enough this will be labeled cringe too. It's the circle of life. And if you have the fear that 30 years from now somebody's going to call your wedding cringe, don't worry, they will. Might as well get over it now. I can almost promise you 2 generations ago they were not planning their weddings with the thought of what are my grandkids gonna say. Why the hell do you care? Now if you start making choices just because they're trendy, just because you saw it online, just because somebody else did it and now you need to do it too, yeah, then maybe you're gonna look back with regret and be like, why did I do that? That was really weird. Once you stop worrying about what's cool or uncool, because eventually it's all uncool, hone in to what feels right for you. If you are planning your wedding day authentically, then it will not even matter that someday your wedding day will probably look kind of uncool. I'm not here to stir fear of everything you love is someday going to be ugly, so don't do it. It's the opposite of that. Do whatever the hell you want. Wear whatever you want. It's just one day, but then tomorrow time keeps spinning on. As long as you plan a day that makes you happy, you will love looking back at your wedding photos, even if someday they might look cringe, but soon enough they'll be cool again.
I rest my case. Use wedding trends as inspiration to pull from. Get excited about things that you see online, especially if you're into the visual aesthetics of an overall look for a wedding, without becoming obsessed with the details of having a timeless look or a timeless effect. Because honestly, there are very few things in the wedding industry and in this world that are considered well and truly timeless by absolutely everyone. Plan a wedding day that suits you and your fiance. Plan a wedding day that gets you excited to think about it. Plan a wedding day that makes your guests feel warm and welcome and loved. Plan your wedding day with good food, good lighting, good music, and a good spouse by your side, and everything else will fall into place. That's what we have for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you are struggling through wedding planning and trying to figure out how to style your wedding in the midst of all of these trends and what you should do and what you should not do, sometimes it is really helpful to have a wedding planner come alongside you. But that doesn't mean you can necessarily afford a wedding planner. That's why I created the Master Plan. It's my online wedding planning course where I walk you through everything that you need to plan your wedding from point A to wedding day. I'm going to go ahead and link it right up here. As always, it is linked in the bio down below. I have an entire module dedicated on how to style your wedding using Pinterest. And on top of that, I do live monthly phone calls to help you plan your wedding as intentionally and as cost effectively as possible. Oh, wait. Before we go, what's a trend that you vibe with? What's the trend that you're like, I love this, I hope it never goes anywhere? And then what's a trend that you're like, you gotta go. You gotta go, I'm done with it, I'm done seeing you, we're over it. Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the video, jump on down there, like the video, and subscribe to this channel for more tips and tricks for the modern day bride. And until next week, Bye, guys.